Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. K-Rob 216. Thank you guys for tuning in. Uh, we're gonna get into something real, short, sweet. There's nothing set in stone, so this is just speculation. I'm just giving my opinion on this fight. Before we get into that, like and subscribe. So I've been seeing for about the past week and a half. The WBA has mandated a fight between Gervonta Davis, who's the WBA super champion, against Floyd Schofield. I think he's the WBA interim champion. Um, I like this fight. I like it because it's going to be a banger. It's going to be a barn burner. Somebody is going to get knocked out. Um, I'm going to say this. I think that Tank and his team are going to, they're going to try to get this fight by all costs. I hate to be the person that hates on Tank Davis all the time. I'm not hating. It's just the truth. Tank has not challenged himself in a long time. He doesn't want to fight the best. He doesn't want to fight the Shakur Stevensons. He doesn't want to fight none of those guys. So I think that Floyd Schofield is the perfect opponent for him because he's so inexperienced in the pro ranks. He's inexperienced in the pro ranks. He hasn't fought any top five challenger in the lightweight division. He leaves himself open a lot enough for Tank can set traps, and we know Tank is the king of setting traps, and that's what he's going to do against Floyd Schofield. Floyd Schofield, both have been inactive for a minute. Tank has been inactive since March 1st of last year. Schofield, yes, he's fought Tevin Farmer, I think, in the last 6 or 7 months, but it was only one round. So there's going to be a lot of rest because he hasn't had a full good fight where there's a lot of rounds for him to learn from and stuff like that. He hasn't had that fight since Rene Garon. I think that was 7 or 8 months prior to Tevin Farmer. And I can tell right now, that Floyd Schofield, he's not going to do good. He's not one of those fighters that can do good off a ring rust, especially going into a super fight with somebody like Tank Davis that's going to just prey on him for him to make a mistake. And he makes a lot of mistakes in there. He's a good fighter. I like him a lot. He's got a lot of amateur experience. I think that he goes a lot further than what Frank Martin did with Tank Davis. We've seen that fight ended, I think, in the 8th and the 9th round. Like I said, though, man, I'm not trying to be a Tank hater or nothing like that, but we know Tank is not trying to challenge himself, though. His biggest victory was against Jose Pedraza. They picked Frank Martin because he started boxing at the age of 18, 19, and they knew that. They knew that pressure. He didn't know what to do. His brain wasn't going to work fast enough to handle that pressure. Floyd Schofield, he's been fighting for a long time. He's been fighting before he's little, so he does have a good amateur pedigree. He's going to have to use that to the best of his ability against the Tank Davis, regardless of what we've seen against Lamont Rocha last year, when that fight was a draw. I honestly, in that fight, I think Tank, it's either that Tank took the fight lightly against Lamont Roach, or Lamont Roach had a hell of a game plan because he's been fighting since the amateurs. They're both natives of the D.C., Baltimore area, and they fought plenty of times in the amateurs and stuff like that. But nevertheless, though, man, I think this fight is going to be made. I think that Tank Davis, he takes the Mayweather route. He's the eighth side of every fight that he goes against every opponent that he fights. So he gets to pick and choose the Ryan Garcia, the weight clause, and all that stuff. Yeah, man, he's the A side of this, man. And so he's going to take the Mayweather route by getting the most money for the lowest risk and stuff like that. And I think that Floyd Schofield, I do think that he's a top 5 fighter because how the lightweight division is set up. Yeah, but it's just the experience, man. He leaves himself open a lot. Yes, he did good. I take my hat up to him. He got Tevin Farmer out of there in 1 round. But against Rene Garon, he took a lot of shots. He was leaving himself open, throwing a lot of power shots and leaving himself open. Tank and his team are going to capitalize off of that. So like I said, man, I have no doubt that this fight is going to get made. I think it's going to get made soon. It's all up to Floyd Schofield if he can back up what he's been saying that his son can beat everybody. With the Shakur Stevenson fight that was about to happen, I think a day before the fight happened, he all of a sudden, he put a picture up. He had some type of tube in his mouth and stuff like that, making it seem like it was a life and death situation, and the fight got pulled. The fight got canceled the day before. But if Floyd Schofield can talk up a good game and stuff, he can back up what he says, I think this fight is going to be happening. Like I said, on Tank Davis and his part, he's got his trainers, Calvin Ford. I think his other trainer is Kenny Ellis. I'm not sure, but he has Leonard Ellerbe, and you know, he got it Mayweather's you know, career and helping them carefully select some of these opponents out here, you know. So yeah, man, I think you know, I'm optimistic about that fight, man. I would love to see that fight. I would love for Floyd Schofield to prove me wrong. I would love to see a you know, all out action battle. Uh, I do want to see Floyd Schofield be a champion. But I do take my hat off to him if this fight does get made. He's out here trying to, you know, trying to fight the best. You know, he's got to make up for what he did with the Shakur Stevenson fight, man. You know, and that's just plain and simple. So, man, hopefully that fight get made. Like I said, the WBA is they're mandating that fight. They're giving those two sides to they're giving them time to come to agreement and come to terms to make a fight on themselves before it goes to purse bid. Now, people know with the purse bid, the WBA is going to offer the lowest amount of money with the champion getting a better percentage. It depends on how much they want to give the percentage to Tank Davis. So it could go 70-30, 60-40 or something like that. They're going to be fair, but they're not going to get the payday that his team and, you know, with the promoters, they can pull the money and make this fight happen. Or Tank can take the risk of being stripped for the WBA title. And with Floyd Schofield, I think he will be more than happy to take that fight. So I don't think we have to worry about that fight or Tank Davis getting stripped for the WBA lightweight title. So, man, that's the time that I got. I know I always say this. I may drop a video later on today and stuff like that. So, like and subscribe, and I'll get back with you guys.